Peace, love, and solidarity. As y'all come in, share this video to at least 2 or 3 people. It's a very critical video, and I think it's going to be information that's beneficial to everybody that's watching. If you live in a city where they say that there's too much crime, and in my opinion, one crime is too much, you need to hear this message, and you need to share this message. As we know, the Trump administration has decided to send the National Guard, the DEA, the ATF, the FBI, ICE. They even got a Department of Homeland Security. They even got the wildlife people operating in the city of Memphis. They got ICE operating in the city of Chicago like a paramilitary unit. They have ICE operating in Portland, Oregon like a paramilitary unit. A lot of the people in the city of Memphis champion the coming of the National Guard and the Memphis Safe Task Force, right? In my opinion, one crime is too many. But I want to caution the people to understand that you cannot incarcerate yourself out of this problem that's been created decades and decades ago, right? You can't build enough jails, enough prisons to stop this situation, and that's nationwide. The premise of this video is, people, know your rights. I've been on the ground for about a week and a half now, talking to people, doing some investigation work of my own. And what I'm finding is this Memphis Safe Task Force is constantly violating the rights of the people. Now, there are going to be some people who's going to say this comes with just the cost of doing business. This comes with it, right? However, I'm a student of history. And what I want to tell the people is this. The school system has failed us terribly, because for those of us that make those type of comments, it shows that you are not educated in the issue. And this education goes back to the school system when they taught you about the Revolutionary War. Now, if we go back and we study the Revolutionary War, we see one of the key factors, if not the key factor, of what led up to the Revolutionary War was Britain's use of what they called writs of assistance. Writs of assistance, where they went into your home without probable cause and searched and seized whatever they wanted to. This was a major problem for the colonists and the founders who decided to break away and write the Declaration of Independence. This was a major factor. And so now we have history repeating itself, because now the same people who broke away from England on that premise, that was the major premise, now they're doing it all over again right here at home to their own citizens, their own people, right? I just talked to a brother who was sitting on his front porch with a few people, and the task force rolled up, and maybe some few houses down, two young guys ran in the opposite direction of what this guy's house. They get out, search the field over there, find whatever they find. They're walking through the area, just looking around. And they approach the guy, him and a couple of people sitting on the porch, and they say, let us search your home. But the way that they did it, the way that they positioned themselves around them, subtly, it was a subtle coercion. This guy, he's not thinking, he's not knowing his Fourth Amendment rights to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. He said, "Hey, I'm just working. I'm a working guy. I don't know, just sitting here enjoying myself, enjoying the weather and whatever." And these guys talk him into letting them search his home. They go in the house, and they're in cabinets. Now, if you're saying, okay, well, some guys down the street ran, and even though they didn't run in that direction, they ran, and so we just like to search your home and whatever the other nonsense they said to get in there. What are you doing in the cabinet? What are you doing in this man's cabinet? These are the similar tactics that were used by the British on the colonists leading up to the Revolutionary War of 1776. Go back and study history. People, it doesn't matter that these are federal task force members, state troopers, whatever agency they're from, it doesn't matter. You have a Fourth Amendment right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Now, what they can do, they can stop and detain you under what's called Terry versus Ohio. And that's only if they have what's called reasonable suspicion to believe that a crime has been committed or a crime is about to be committed. And when they do that, they can only pat you down. That's it. This is the law. This is federal law. This is federal law. This is United States Supreme Court ruling. Okay? There's another case that goes beyond that called Mapp versus Ohio. MAPP, Mapp versus Ohio. What Mapp versus Ohio tells them is that, hey, anything that you all recovers or seizes as a result of an unlawful search and seizure cannot be used in a criminal trial. So it's vitally important that people know your rights. Just because a federal task force or National Guards are operating on your city streets does not mean that you have no rights. A state of martial law has not been declared nowhere in the United States of America. A state of martial law has not been declared nowhere in the United States of America. A task force does not trump the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. The National Guard does not trump the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. See, I told us a little while ago that playtime is over with. And I meant that. Playtime is over. It's time for us to stop playing and to learn what we need to learn. You're never too old to learn. If they approach you about searching your home, politely tell them, no, you cannot search my home. Go get a search warrant. And when you come back with your warrant, then I'll let you search my home. If they surround you, strategically surround you, this is what's called an intimidation tactic. That is also illegal. They cannot coerce you into allowing them to search your home. People, know your rights. Know your rights. If they stop you in your car, they must have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to make the stop. People, know your rights. And it's best for you to have a dash cam or have your phone on recording. So if it go anywhere beyond that, you can use that in court or you can use it in civil court. Their numbers is indicating that they have made over 2,000 arrests in the first 41 days of this operation in the city of Memphis. Over 4,000 traffic citations have been written. And they're saying that this was to stop violent crime. Violent crime has still been taking place in the city of Memphis over the last 2.5 weeks. And in some instances, we can say it has ramped back up. So again, as I said in the beginning, you cannot incarcerate yourself out of this situation. This is a failure of epidemic proportions. City government, county government, Shelby County school system have all failed the people. The corporations that set up in Memphis, that get these big tax breaks, have failed the people. The disinvestment of resources and funds being allocated back into the communities in the city of Memphis have failed the people. These city councilmen have failed the people. How many city councilmen is out on the front lines monitoring the Memphis Safe Task Force? How many city councilmen from these different wards or different communities that represent these communities, how many of them are out in those communities monitoring the Memphis Safe Task Force? The National Guard, Tennessee Highway Patrol, which is the state troopers, MPD, Shelby County Sheriffs, ATF, FBI, DEA, wildlife officials. So again, it's time for solid men to step to the forefront of what's going on. Again, I'm going to say it again. It's time for solid men to step to the forefront and serve. See, everybody can talk. Everybody can get on their social media page and talk. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is talking. There's no action. There's no action. You stand for nothing. Same thing with the entertainers and the rappers. All you doing is rapping. But your city is under siege. Your city under siege. While your city under siege, you rapping. While your city under siege, you rapping. Your people being terrorized and you rapping. Some of you guys got influence. Your city under siege, your community under siege, and you hide. We're going to call a spade a spade. Leaders lead. Leaders lead. Leaders lead. It's time for y'all to stop playing. You rappers, you leaders, you entertainers. Lead your people. Educate your people. Teach your people their rights. Inform them on their rights. The city councilmen in these neighborhoods have failed the people. And so while I point out the dysfunction that's taking place in the community, I'm also going to offer you solid solutions. And this message applies to every community across America. It applies to every community across America. We talking solid solutions. First and foremost, stop looking to these entertainers as your leaders. They can't lead you around the corner. Chicago under siege. ICE is operating in Chicago like a paramilitary unit. Where's the entertainers at? ICE, along with the federal task force in the city of Memphis, is operating like a paramilitary unit. Where's your entertainers at? Where's your leaders at? Where's your street leaders at? Portland, Oregon, they operating like a paramilitary unit. Where's your leaders at? In LA, they was operating like a paramilitary unit. Where's the leaders at? We need solid men to step to the forefront. We need solid men and women to come together and formulate a think tank. We need one like yesterday in every community across this country. And we need to move on whatever objective and agenda we come up with. We need to move on it ASAP. See, they They've had think tanks operating in America, studying the people, studying everything about you since the early 1900s. Have anybody heard of the RAND Corporation? Have anybody heard of the American Enterprise Institute? Have anybody heard of the Carnegie, what they call it, the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace? These are think tanks. And it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. They study everything about the domestic lives of the people in the United States of America. Every ethnic group is understudied or has been studied. Your family life, your school life, including your sex life, or your sex habits. So they plotting and planning. They plotting and planning, and we playing. Think about what I just said. They plotting and planning, and we playing. We playing. We playing gangster. We playing tough. We playing pimp. We playing player. We playing whore. We playing. Everything that you see taking place, this was already thought of. This didn't come out the brain of Donald Trump. So y'all want to point the fingers at Trump. This didn't come out the brain of Donald Trump. You all have to understand that there are other forces at work. These think tanks and these corporations run America. They don't give a damn who in the White House. They're going to have a say and they're going to have influence. And until we understand this, we are going to forever be captives to their agendas and their objectives. So you can keep running around all you want, not knowing that you have rights. You can keep on playing if you want to. So I caution you. Take a step back. Unplug from this matrix. Stop listening to and following these damn entertainers. They just entertainers. That's it. They just entertainers. They're not bad people. They caught up in the matrix like everybody else. Most of them don't even know they got rights. Know your rights. Learn your rights. Do not let them go in your home without a warrant. They must have a warrant to search your home. And some people say, well, I ain't doing nothing, so I ain't got nothing to hide. That's not the point. I can guarantee you, those same law enforcement officials, if the shoe was on the other foot, they're going to tell them, nah, go get a warrant. And I'll be right here when you come back. I don't have nothing to hide, but I'm going to be standing right here when you come back with that warrant, and I read the warrant and say, I'm going to let you in and let you search. they're going to tell them the same thing because they understand that Fourth Amendment. They understand the Fourth Amendment. And while I'm on the topic about rights, I want to talk about the American Civil Liberties Union. Somebody can tag them if they want, because I haven't seen them on the front line of this issue that's going on in Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee, or Portland, Oregon, or LA. I haven't seen anyone from the American Civil Liberties Union saying anything or monitoring the situation at hand. And I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen the video and I've seen with my own eyes. Traffic stop after traffic stop after traffic stop. One car gets pulled over and you got 9, 10 cars, 12 people around one car. I seen an elderly black lady pulled over, no tent on her car, no tent whatsoever on her car. And you got a guy standing there with a rifle on this lady. What you need a rifle for on an older lady, elderly lady? By herself, no tent, all her windows rolled down. Or the front was rolled down, no tent on her vehicle. What do you need federal officials and state troopers standing behind the car on this other side of the car, and you at the car though with a damn rifle? The whole city should be outraged. The whole city should be outraged. And these vain videos was going around. But all y'all want to do is get on social media and run off at your mouth. Know your rights, man. Everybody need to go Google the Bill of Rights. Google the Bill of Rights. And from there, you're going to be able to cross-reference. You're going to be able to scroll down and look at what the explanation are of these rights. And now you know how to operate. You know what they can do and what they can't do. But it's imperative that you know your rights. I'm coming right back at you with another video. And I want to give a critical analysis on how we got here. A critical analysis of how we got here. Because this is not just endemic to one city. See, we have to do a trajectory analysis. We have to go back. And we have to give you a historical teaching of what got us here. We have to give you that so you can understand what's going on. We have to go deep into the migrant crisis. Because it's a manufactured crisis. It's a manufactured crisis. They manufactured this crisis. Yes. Your government. Yes. Yes. Mr. New World Order. George H.W. Bush. When he initially signed NAFTA. Clinton came in behind him and signed it, which sent it into effect in 1994. But in 1992, George H.W. Bush signed it. His administration was the architect of NAFTA. How did migration of the immigrants increase after NAFTA went into effect? Year after year, it showed that the numbers grew. As their economies failed, the immigration picked up. And so most of the stops and the arrests that you see in Memphis are migrants. But they're operating in predominantly black and brown communities. See, this is what you're not being told. This is what you're not being told. It's the same playbook in Chicago and the same playbook in Portland, Oregon, and the same playbook in LA. This is what you're not being told. How do you undermine economies of these people in Central and South America and not expect them to flood your shores looking for better opportunities? And then you take the money that's allocated to the people that's here legal and push it off over here to them. So you see what they're doing? You see what they're doing? This is what we got to understand. This is a manufactured crisis. People, know your rights. Go Google the Bill of Rights. Cross-reference what you see on there. They're going to give you detailed explanation of what each and every one of these rights are. We should know those rights. You should know your Fourth Amendment rights, your Fifth Amendment rights, your 14th Amendment rights. You should know those rights. People, know your rights or suffer the consequences.